The Walk Away Part 4, Final Ending, an extended version so you guys don't need to wait for the ending tomorrow. Watch all other parts before you watch this final ending. The links are down below. Now, back to the story. Update of sorts. Got a goofy letter from her attorney. She's very bored and desperate. It was solved when I received it, or it was issues she hasn't tackled that aren't my problem. She's trying to pull a fast one on the house. Thank God I did some documentation earlier. Seems to be more likely a bipolar break is the root cause of her issues. Definitely explains her money habits, revisionist history, and moods. I continue to be amazed at her ability to spend money. I've almost eliminated dating but have interest in a lady I'm getting to know slowly. She has been promoted to me locally and I continue to run into her more and more. I was reluctant to talk to her after seeing her with X for a bit at a game a few weeks ago, but she always seems friendlier than ever. I was very impressed at an event the other day. Something happened to her that put her in a bit of danger and she shrugged it off and went right back to the activity. Pretty cool. She was really calm under pressure as I talked her through what to do to be safe. One of her children has also asked me for some help with a hobby, and she asked me for some advice about her property. Suffice it to say I got pulled into doing some work, offering suggestions, helping the child, etc. I did her a favor today without telling her first, and she just called to thank me. We had a nice conversation that got into some other topics. I've probably spent an hour talking in person or the phone in the past few days. She didn't realize some of my education and I didn't realize all of hers either. I'm impressed her kids are nice and well behaved, almost scarily so. I'm going to stick with the theory she's a single mom with a bunch of kids that need some guy help now and then. She's smart, nice and friendly. I know a woman won't fix me, I have to fix me. But if something develops, great. I won't push too hard. She asked me twice if I'd be where she is tomorrow, before she hung up. Divorce plus surgery you didn't want while being awake and no painkillers. Life is funny. Kids met a cousin today. Mom doesn't even know her blood nephew was born. Showed up at a public event sans bra. Never seen that in 20 years. Whole knew her. Never too many friends. New neighbor married with kids introduced herself tonight. Wants her kids to play with mine this weekend. About the same ages, I okay it. Dealt with a goofball motion. I swear she is not of the logical world. I hope the judge sees that somehow, some way. Never enough friends. New dude showed up while STBXW had kids. Almost perfect to what I suspected. Former local that lives a little under an hour away now. Fits like a glove. I've known him 22 years. She and he were probably in high school together. I think she's slightly younger. Her weight loss began in earnest last September. Sounds dumb. My guess would be coincidence. Facebook, that type of thing. Also, could be she did have a guy and this is number 2 or 3. I'll never know unless she or someone tells me. The key thing is he has a nearby but very remote property she could be seen near but not be thought of out of the ordinary, and lives very close to her sister in a big town less than an hour away. Very convenient. Plus, he's here all the time too. 1 second I want to end it all. The next I'm okay with it. The lows don't get as low as they used to. Even this. I've lost a ton of weight, 20 pounds less than I did 25 years ago now. As they said in divorce class, no one controls their spouse when married. Nothing I can do now. First lady I ever dated seemed to be a friend zoner. Both of us stayed in touch. Occasionally go out. Suddenly it seems to be clicking over time more so. I actually was on a date a few weeks after going out with her and ran into her on a date with a different woman. She was kind of peeved, but at the time I told her, hey, you didn't want to go out that night. She took it in stride and we continued to talk, see each other now and then. Been working into things gradually, but I like smart and man is she, plus kind, considerate, caring and perceptive. She definitely keeps my head in the right direction in a good way. Doesn't put up with pity party stuff, which is good for me, but she does it in a kind way. Seems to know when to jab me, make me think, or give me some support. That is a nice talent to be around. She says I do the same for her. We'll see. Spending some time with her and kids this week at a lake. She coincidentally is there at the same time at her family's place. Also met her family at a July 4th party and passed the test. Yes. I knew it was a test, though they all claim it isn't. Right. Days later. Crazy just gets worse. Feel so sorry for my children. Every time I have them for my extended period they just decompress. Lots of sharing, sleeping, wanting to be held, heard, safe. More in-laws have reached out with concern. Their problem. Case has been postponed officially. I'm very disappointed. Continue to see one lady as it works for us. She told me she doesn't want to be serious, just have fun, relax and things will go as they go. Don't overthink right now. Works for me. That was followed by some occasional recent outstanding overnight dates. She is very positive and kind, a huge plus. Been out having some fun. Probably a little too much, but I had some amazing times on a vacation recently. I approached vacation like I did a college weekend. I was mainly with couples, but our large group had singles too. It's nice being where the water, booze and music mix. We had some gorgeous women, beautiful boats, and were living it up, so we were pretty noticeable. I just worked at being relaxed. I have worked out hard, modernized my haircut, bought some new clothes. Wear a nice watch, bit of jewelry now and then. I tried to mix with women that caught my attention. I'd hang with group, and if someone caught my eye I'd just go over, introduce myself. Maybe use some humor. And just try to be my fun self. Tried to be myself, show a little humor and interest in them. Interestingly, I found a couple of times that even in the lady I wanted to meet didn't have interest. A friend would. This sounds very shallow. And yeah, it probably was, but I had a couple of amazing nights. I have to pinch myself honestly. I have found that women have no problem going after what they want if the mood is right and the setting is ideal. I'm not there, hanging on some days, but life is moving forward and the old and the improved me are coming out more days in sync. Well, I met some very special ladies, smart, beautiful, amazing careers and alluring in many ways. One lives a few hours away. We are trying to make some plans for next week. I have found that short-term fun doesn't fix anything, just a distraction, but a very pleasant one. On one hand, it is great. I'm much more aware of women, opportunities, flirting that I used to be. I helped a girl pick cheater glasses in a store the other day. She just starts asking for help out of the blue. I wasn't into her, but I just knew somehow. I could have asked her out, number, and got a yes. Maybe I was wrong, but I don't think so. I was in a suit, killing time before a meeting. Dating is not easy. There is a lot of crazy. I've been burned already. I'm also pretty certain X has heard about the dating and might be part of the new crazier her. I made sure to let a few mouths know I had an amazing time on vacation. I weigh less than when I got married. New haircut has been noticed. Etc. It will get back to her. I have more weight to lose. Case isn't finished. Kids are my priority. If I had my finances and kids, I'd be much happier. That I know. Truthfully, in most ways I am a better man than I was. I also worry that I sunk into this phase of adolescence. I appreciate all of you, sincerely. In a year I hope I'm much better. I worry I could slide all the way off the cracker too. One of my fears is that no, I never will be free from X. Never ever. Church lady made a point to sit with me for 45 minutes after service was over today. She seems really great, but it bugs me she talks to X too. I just stay away. Maybe down the road. I currently try to avoid women that seem like they could actually be a good match long term. The killer is she looks way better in her 40s than she did in her 20s, and the weight loss pills worked. It's hard, very hard to turn off 20 plus years of loving someone. I try, but I can't deny that pain, especially when the kids are with me and want their family together. When she's flirting, getting attention in our sight. When I feel alone in a town where I used to talk to everyone. I know the alone part I've done to myself. Even in a crowd I just stay quiet. Someone did tell me it's perceived as being dignified, self-contained. But I do hurt for my children, and while I know I have to let loose what should have been, it isn't something that just clicks. One day at a time. Over time I know things are better. I was so hopeful to get this trial over. I have not gone on a date within an hour of where I live. I have actually run into people I know on dates, but it's okay. Ethically, I was left behind, so I don't feel bad about it anymore. And I've never lied to a woman. My divorce is in process. Kids want me to have a girlfriend, but I tell them my focus is on them, and it is when I have them. I have never left the girls for any reason during their time with me except a couple of work events. If their mother gave them to me when she is gone, I would return the favor, but after doing so to start, she did not reciprocate. Good for you to get out, feel good, have fun, get some attention. It's hard to start over dating. I didn't date a lot before getting married. Seems to almost scare women. Funny thing is, my STBXW bagged on me for some of the things I'm good at, but it seems to be exactly what other women want for themselves and kids. It's a big world. You'll do well. You sound really together. Her mother is paying all expenses. The strategy is to liquidate me. I'm over $14,000 in legal expenses already. Settlement will be low to mid six figures. Plus, custody remains a nightmare. She wants 100%. Insane. I've filed for 50. We'll go to court-ordered mediation now. It will be pointless. I won't give an inch, and she loved the temporary agreement in place because she hit a ton of income in 2013 until May of this year. Well, after the agreement and discovery, it will come out at trial. Someday. She ignored discovery, showed up when she finally provided documents for taxes. She requested an extension. Should have known something was up. Some income disappeared, some showed up. She has spent more than $30,000 on attorneys, I'd guess. Or her family has. Money is not an issue to her, but they want all of mine and my kids and possessions. My attorney constantly says, people like her pay people like you to go away. This is the reverse, but they are enjoying it. They just are that way. My set of rules for those blindsided by a long-time spouse with kids, money, property, and crazy. Mean X, especially if you are male with more income, retirement, etc. 1. When you get the I don't love you, stop whatever you want to do. No more talk, listening, anything. Go to work, love your kids, get an attorney. Do nothing without thinking. 2. Get an attorney. 3. Stop all your money going anywhere but you. Freeze, grab what you can. 4. Stop communicating except for kids. Only respond to medical, educational issues. Clearly communicate yours to them too. 5. Do not give up any time with kids, house, cars, anything. Insist on 50-50 day 1, period. 6. Never text or email until you absolutely have to. Have friends read them before you send if it's at all critical, possibly mean. Innocent stuff is even a problem. 7. I'm a horrible example, but don't vilify yourself. 8. Love up your kids, examine yourself, work out, go to divorce care classes, parenting classes. Learn new things. 9. Don't absolutely need it, don't buy it. Kids don't need everything you think either. 10. Don't let X take all your kids' stuff. 11. Don't cooperate at all unless they are demonstrating cooperation and care. If they don't, they are only interested in taking everything they can, including your soul. 12. Get help, counseling, friends, church, work, anything you can. 13. Splurge on yourself once in a while. You just have to. You can't martyr everything. That said, be careful with your money. 14. Be calm, polite, don't communicate anything you don't have to. You want them to feel your wrath, it won't help. They don't care and you have to stop caring. 15. Don't give up. Get up, shower, go to work, give yourself passes but don't indulge. 16. People do care, but you will wear them out. It just happens. 17. Cut all the ties you can, couple friends, Facebook. Don't assume people hate you though. They don't usually. Most will be on your side if you have dignity, weren't a jerk, and don't torture X in public. Let them burn themselves. People know. 18. Vent to who you can, but remember, there are spies. 19. Sleep is impossible. Feel free to get some help there. Do it early, not late. A few months of bad sleep is when you need help. 20. They weren't who you thought. When and if you date, you will see that in others and be shocked at what you accepted as good in a mate. Don't give them an inch. They already took a mile before you knew they were leaving. Part of her family was going after her last night. The part on my side. I found myself just torn apart. I loved her for 26 years, whatever she was. This wasn't the movie where it starts a steady decline. This was the movie where everything is going up, then a few months of confusion and gone. I had to reread a bunch of things for legal reasons. Weird to see how everything is fine, then one day it's weird, a week later it's gone. I've never come to grips with what, why, how, who, and it kills my personality to not understand something. Days later, I don't want her back. We've had a bit of legal wrangling lately. I came through with flying colors. She was absolutely destroyed by my attorney. She doesn't even know the half of the lies he's trapped her in for trial. I almost felt sorry for her. I was amazed, even when he was actually very kind, trying to help her help herself out of trouble. She just can't do it. Her mind is so determined the kids are hers. I'm evil, everything is her way. He was masterful at getting her to talk, giving her rope, having the answers before she gave them, and just taking her down dead-end roads with no way out. She denied an affair. I did not know he was going to bring that up. Then he went after some evidence that she tried to pass off as nothing. He kept after it and pointed out how her explanations could not make sense. Her own attorney was looking at her in a whole new light. It was good, for the first time in a year, to feel like I won something in this breakup. There is no winning, but if she goes to trial, she's toast. I don't know if she can process right now, but it was attorney 10, her 0. I will always love the woman I knew for 26 years. My college sweetheart, the woman I raced home to see. The one that had our children, the one I thought I'd grow old with. Illusion or not, it was my life and I liked it. I don't want this one, at all. I won't lie. I'm hurting so bad it's unbelievable. Mainly for my children. I've been a bit careful to not put exact things down she's done, but no one would believe me anyway. She left items for the girls today in a 3-gallon Victoria's Secret bag. Really? Okay, I get the message. At this time last year, I was doing a house project. Loved our cabin. Kids great. Financially set and a nice retirement. Nice vehicles. Good jobs. Now, barely can make ends meet. Trying to hang on at work. Crazy ex. Kids struggling. Friends choosing sides. I really will never understand the whys or the destruction. I try not to dwell anymore, but it happens. I've found out I'm a pretty good guy. Good friends. Have never lashed out, cheated or lied through this. Kids are my priority. Work does value the old me at least, and trying to let me work through this. New friends. Definitely some crazy adventure. But coming home and waking up alone over half the time except for my trusty dog is a killer. Without money, it's hard to do fun things. Just venting. But I sure hope she enjoys the money and her mother. She is skinny, was beautiful anyway. But damn is she haggard up close, and she's so loud, manic and domineering it's sad to watch. It was like watching The Exorcist at the deposition. I hope that version comes to trial. Sometime later. Court day is over. We are so far apart of everything. I have tried to be fair, use real numbers. Fair with kids. Total opposite from her side. She asked for over 80% of my take-home pay in child support and alimony. How? She prorated a bonus and part of a year's salary. I hope judge looks at taxes and income, not her worksheet. Attorney thought it went well and he admonished us at end for not settling. 90% of admonishment at her. Her mom slept through court and sister made evil faces all day. I couldn't sleep last night, thought I was fine but then mine wouldn't shut off. I was very complimentary mostly. I did get a few barbs in but her attorney opened the door. For those of you going through a divorce, I would say the trial was very anticlimactic and boring. You sit there and wish your attorney would ask 100 questions, but the trial would never get done. I'm scared but the judge did seem to go after her. I can't even imagine life if the judge gives her anything close to what she wants. He went after more so on kids' issues, all her previous emergency motions, putting the kids in 3x the activities they were in previous years. Trying to control their time with me, chastising her that all the witnesses said we were great family and parents and in his opinion that is no accident. We have great kids because we are both good parents. Not just her. Told her he didn't want to hear about in the future if the kids and I do something like camp some weekend and miss a volleyball practice she didn't ask me about. I really don't have a story that is believable. How many things have occurred? Her issues, loss of material things, rotten things to kids, friend committed suicide, work pressure. I don't know how I'm here. I keep getting up. Not always productive but I keep going. The worst parts are the loss of future. Seeing her spending all this money and living so well. Heard of my children who just want their parents back. Small town things where I know she cheated but she hasn't been dumb enough to get caught. There have been good things too. People say detach, don't talk to her. Go to once a week email checks. It's so hard with kids. Add in money, trying to figure out dating at all after 26 years. Worn out friends, trial and the things she did as that led up. It's just been a very long year. I'm in the middle of the speech to the email from last year and it seems like a decade of pain. I figured out why at least some people do awful things to themselves. It's not getting back, sense of loss, can't stand the pain. It's that every day is dying again. Got a letter from attorney saying her guy botched some custody stuff at trial and closing letter. Hope he's right. I'm not going to read any of it. Got another 3-page letter today. She's cooperative, great parent, and I'm hiding money and a horribly uncooperative parent. And she took the co-parenting class when she hid $40,000 in income. She on and on and on. It just gets old. I have kids for Thanksgiving. She has barely any family. Most of her family will not be there. Sad and satisfying to watch the whole family burn down. Days later, for whatever reason my phone and Facebook blew up today. Ex is really going nuts ranting and raving around town. New one is I yelled at her to lose weight after our second girls. My ex is 10 times more attractive than me. I rarely yelled and certainly not for that. She was thin then. She wanted a mommy makeover but this is nuts. Hearing she talks about me constantly. Friends, acquaintances are not putting up with her or mom attacking me. She's been told to get help by friends. Some went after her for offering me every other weekend saying we live 10 blocks apart we should split time. She is really talking a lot. I guess. Heard from many sources. I have no idea on why today the day for me is to get all of this. Weird gets weirder. Broke it off with a girl tonight. Too many sheet tests. Nice person. We have fun but constant need for commitment. Wanting to make dates 3 months into future. I'll give her credit. Showing up at a school program in a body stocking dress. Huge earrings. And knee-high boots was over the top. She looks better by far than she ever has. And every time I see her, another petal falls off my rose. Just gets better. Weeks later, sister-in-law I don't talk to, haven't in a year tells me ex ranted to her for over 2 hours last night about me, her mother and her brother's family. His sister-in-law had stayed neutral. That's over now. The rants were full of lies, crazy talk, and so on. Easily disproved by me and her brother. Lots of made-up stories, communications, etc. Christmas will be with my kids and half of ex family. Ex with half of her family. Almost all the grandchildren where I and kids are. I have the girls all week and will next year too. 2 weeks later, we had a fantastic Christmas Eve with a special meal and a few presents. Santa did a good job and attended church this morning. Spent Christmas with half of ex family. My girls and their cousins had a ball. No one really talked about my divorce or their crazy mother. The kids played. Food was fantastic. Weather perfect. They swam. They sang Christmas songs and I think we all see it as a major shift in our lives away from my ex. Her mother and her sister. Ex had Christmas with her sister, mom and 2 kids and no uncle. We had 6 grandkids, other 2 siblings, and a few other throw-ins like me. No joy in all of this but, at the end of the night I and Bill commented that the family is sure a lot nicer without my ex. His mom and other sister, night and day better. Daughter wrote a note to Santa last night wanting our family together and some other things about Christmas I thought ex should see regarding presents. Hopes yet for holiday with mom coming up. So, I forwarded it but only mentioned a Santa issue she was worried about at mom's house lol. I was going to drop off my Christmas letter that featured her estranged family but I didn't. I'll just mail it. I'm smiling, a rare thing, but God I love having my girls back. Had a nice New Year's. Went out with a new friend. She is recently divorced. Spouse cheated. Both of us feel like we've already hurt others just by dating and not being ready for commitment. Both of us have dated others that say they understand, but really don't. It's hard to predict someone's heart. So, we've spent some low-key time together. Not even really dating, just talking, hanging, have a drink or two. Last night I went to a party she wanted to go to with her work colleagues. We had a really nice time. It was good just to be in that atmosphere again around a lot of other couples. Laughing, playing games. Obviously, I was getting the once over, but I was impressed with her demeanor and her friends. I know she was nervous, and in the midst of it all her ex showed up, colleague to everyone too, but wasn't invited. Her friends politely but firmly had him out the door in minutes, and she did not break down, even later alone with me. That was a bit surreal, but we don't control our exes. Basically, he had heard she might bring someone and wanted to eyeball me, though he lives with the woman, one of many, he cheated with. That was brassy. One of the guys, who was best friends with her ex, said he thought it was funny the ex pulled that because on the way out all he said was, referencing me. That guy is really big. I'm sure one of us will hurt the other, but I hope not. Hard to know the future though too, but we seem to get each other. I think we both look at this a bridge for now. I hope that's the case. I have tried not to date since going out last May, June. I dated a lady for a while, very nice, just wanted movement towards commitment, so I ended it. I feel bad. She still communicates. She tells me she is going on dates. Yeah, that's what I encouraged her to do. Done a few things socially with a teacher. She just divorced and has kids too. Seems to have been through similar things, and her dates have wanted to move faster too. So, I am not dating but seeing someone. We kind of laugh, we don't know what to call it. If it works, we do something when neither has kids. Kids come first. I got pushed to take the previous out in the town where I live. I just couldn't do it. I'm not ready. I did have a smoking hot, much younger lady going through a divorce tell me I should take her out to talk over a beer sometime. Like 5 minutes later I thought, she just totally told me to ask her out. Let's just say I'm not good at this yet. I missed 4 decades of dating. A month later, final order is in. There is no winner, but I think she won the bulk of things. I filed an appeal. My attorney was sick. I didn't get 50-50. I didn't think I would. Judge isn't noted for 50-50. Never expected legal. Didn't get. Finances. Totally baffled. The judge didn't read both sets of exhibits or didn't pay attention. Some really bizarre misses on simple match. Attorney is beyond apoplectic. He did clarify all in trail, so I don't know how judge missed some things so badly. Some good. I almost got 50-50. If this is the worst she can do to me, so be it. I can't talk or look at her. I know that's hard on kids. She's ramped up criticism of me in front of kids. Hard to take. Her weight loss and manic behavior continues. A counselor that just met her I work with said she exhibits X-use behavior, but it just be she keeps up her mega dollar diet pills. In 15 months, she's lost relationships with her brother, sister, me, and now only sometimes sits with her mom. Often, they are apart at games and so on. I'm trying to refinance, get my house in order, and move forward. Dating is weird. I see someone that has recently divorced. No pressure and just nice times. She wants no part of meeting my friends or hanging out in my town, which is perfect for me. Not sure what else I can do. Hopefully judge is honest and at least reconsiders a few things that are clear whiffs. Another month later, final order in, not divorced yet. I'm appealing. The judge made a number of big errors with exhibits and evidence. The ex is crazier than ever. I do all I can to not have any contact or communication. I say this a lot. I'm just worn out. Every week I find something she took from the house. She continues to pull every trick there is. I'm getting number all the time, but it drains me too because I know she still has power over me. The weirdest was a phone call where she is sweet as a pie, calling me sweetie, babe, etc. Then she gets interrupted and calls back and yells at me for 15 minutes until I finally hung up. That was crazy. I asked if she was okay, needed to be put in a hospital or what during the first call. Funny thing, she wanted to replay all the bad for her in the last year. Like I care. Kids struggle, money sucks, trying to get finances in order, doing some positive things, more time for me, seeing a therapist and some other work. Learning I was pretty codependent, let things always be her way, especially big things, money, when we had kids, vehicles, etc. I've really just had enough. A nightmare that doesn't end. Weeks later, I've worked very hard to completely disengage. I really took the 180 serious, and it's hard with kids, but I've taken things to all new level, and it's been great for me. For her, not so much. I've endured renewed letters from attorneys, legal threats, drawn up motions that haven't been entered, etc. The difference, I'm just smiling and ignoring. I'm finally, after 17 minutes 18 months, getting to the point. I get it, big game, she's crazy. It's her problem with her self-esteem, and if I don't engage, she has to either ramp up or go away eventually. I pray. At an appeal this week, if the judge doesn't correct his math, a judge above him will. It's not rocket science. I miss my cabin way more than her. Kids are doing well, want us together but won't happen. Getting my house back together and doing some more fun things. Money is always an issue because of child support. legal wrangling and so on, but I'm at peace. She is getting 45% of my take-home pay. That's not right, ergo the appeal. A longtime friend, a very smart, cool woman with a neat job, set me up with her sister. We had a nice time. I was pretty honored. My friend thought I had really moved forward. I have setbacks, dark thoughts, bad moods, but they go away faster. Even hit a hotel bar now and then traveling. I had never done that while married except with colleagues. I'm just a whole new me. Small towns are a pain, but they are fun too. I went to the courthouse early because my attorney is from out of town, so we spent an hour together before the case. X was there. My attorney walks over with her attorney and they part. Went through everything. My attorney says X's attorney told him he's been threatening motion and writing letters to placate my ex. I told my attorney not to respond the past few weeks. I figured she was trying to get me to engage since I refuse all contact. I told my attorney to just say thanks for your letters and threaten motions and we'd welcome discussing them with the judge and say we'd include how to file their threatened motions, but we don't want to be condescending, and that's it. Nothing else. Got some other good news on a couple of fronts that I liked. As time drew near, I asked if I really had to stay. Attorney said no, not really, and it would really chap her if I left my own appeal, and the judge cares less if I'm there. I won't be asked to talk about anything. Saw her last night and she could spit nails. Her head was ready to turn. Today, friends saying she's on the warpath. Apparently, the hearing went well. Lol. This is a person who, when I filed the appeal, asked 3 additional things to her, and then if I did so I'd sign to drop appeal. I know, that is not logical. Her and attorney have been threatening me so much I didn't know what was real. After yesterday. I know it was all smoke, so I feel better. I wonder if her attorney has broken the news. She will not get child support this summer while I have the girls. I'm going to enjoy cutting that check as she continues to tell the girls she's having money issues. No way she is. It's been hard to watch the complete change in her, but it was always lurking. I just made things work. And to be honest, probably a lot of marriages are this way. You don't know till someone goes off the deep end. In her case, her mom, the money, the family problems, her issues in childhood, need for weight loss, control, self-esteem all hit at once. I will be glad this happened if girls stay steady a few years from now. I'll explore the legal options Monday. 2 likely alternatives. Took a big step. Went out with a local lady this weekend that mutual friends know and hers known mine. I'd avoided anything close to home. Had a nice night and planned to go out again. I've done a lot of wrong things. Went out with fun, smart, interesting women. Tried not to date. Dated again. Avoided it. Got set up. And this just kind of happened. I've really never had a bad date or bad time. I really liked my friend's sister, but at the end of the date she said a few things that just was too much information. Great person. A weaker me would pursue for the fun aspect, and she would like to. Rather, I'll try to be mature. Almost 2 months later, got some good news. The judge amended the order to give the children an additional month of nights. Now we have a virtual 50-50 arrangement. Not bad considering the only offer I ever received was a 32-hour weekend and 2-week summer vacation. Months later, comedy of errors. Kids are doing swimming, athletics, and some friends having parties. Weather messed up the whole lot but turned out great. Kids spent time with their mom's side of the family and I was told I was not invited. This was a smiling thing. They wanted me to have no choice but to let them have kids and force me to go do something. So, I did. Spent the night in a bigger city, had a great time. Tonight friends, fireworks, and I filled a decent-sized pool for them to use the rest of the summer. Next weekend I have a couple of dates with 2 different women I really like and have went out with before. I think as much as anything it's nice to get out, have a meal, activity and conversation with someone smart and interesting. I'm in a very low-key place dating. The girl's family asked to take the kids for me again next weekend. I find it amazing they offer to do this even though it's a date. My ex is their blood. They are amazing people and my kids are fortunate they are in their lives. It's nice to have support from people who know the ins and outs of ex and family. Summer schedule ends this week, back to school in 6 weeks already. I'm getting better with kids. I absolutely refuse to communicate with ex, so she's pulling out all the stops at athletic meets, tiny clothing, trying to sit close. Very manic, trying to get me to talk or say anything to her. Even when she speaks I don't understand. None of this is about the kids. In the background she's still sending letters through attorney weekly and spreading lies. I and attorney usually just ignore letters now when hit with crazy stuff. I just simply show the facts if possible and move on. Finances are definitely my biggest worry right now. Weeks later, I saw ex tonight, driving into town when I went to a store. Big idiot looking white sunglasses. Kids waved at me like crazy. I am not Neo at all. Just me. I've been pretty beat down and the next 18 to 24 months will be extraordinarily hard yet as we move through appeal and finances. A very nice lady expressed her high school children really like me. Met them this week. It was pretty interesting to go out as a man seeing their mom, have supper. Look at a house she's thinking about buying together. It was very okay, not forced. I didn't feel guilty. They asked about my girls' sports. Would I take them fishing, etc. I had a very awesome stepdad. Do not think I'm rushing, I am not, at all. This was just a thing that happened by circumstance. Yet, I was pretty proud their mom trusted me to meet them. I'm the first guy they've met in a few years after their dad lost his way and left their life. I say this constantly, my finances are the bothersome part. I in no way want her back, yuck, icky, sick, gross. I'll always love what I thought we had. That's just me, I'm a sentimental guy. My sister-in-law said she's worried at times will the me come back, the guy that talked about current events, cool things, trips. She misses that guy at times, the happier-go-lucky version. She's right, it is coming back. I've started reading daily papers again, having interests, thinking a little into the future. Not a lot. It's not easy, but I'm learning to take a longer-term view with girls. So, she stole my girls, my week, whatever. The girls now know she removed them from a swim meet. She is keeping them from their 5-year-old cousin's birthday party and sleepover. The kids really love each other. They know I do not lie, I don't manipulate. She may win this skirmish in her twisted mind, but it's a pin in her balloon. It will pop someday. She may end up with a lot of money and men that scare me. I can't control that. If she does, in this state, the girls will be able to walk away from her. I think she knows that painfully because the girls ask me about how that works. This case will probably go another 16 to 22 months give or take with the appeal system in this state. In other words, a 4-year divorce. She has asked for continuances 4 times and received 3 though she filed. Kids tonight, mom is a liar, we caught her lying this week. She has had 4 funerals to attend since my summer visitation was over, including one where she was gone all last night. Yeah, right, they called her mom crazy. My 7-year said she is cuckoo. I about spit up. I was drinking a soda while driving. Grandma has been acting really weird and she stinks. Her house stinks and no one likes her behind her back. Okay, more talk about how their mom, aunt and grandma say awful things about their uncle that has been so kind to us. I didn't say anything. They are just he's really nice and why are they so mean and how can grandma not like her own son? Will I ever not like them? X pull some stuff last few days. I ignore. Then framed it and responded matter of fact that an action resulted in X and I want her to remain within some texting boundaries. No threat. If not, I'll just block her phone next. Employee today overheard a conversation with her and someone else. X was complaining about summer schedule, having to take kids. The other person asked how she would get 2 weekends in a row post-summer visitation. Her son is divorced and his final order didn't work that way. Suffice it so say X sputtered, said her attorney said she was right. Same attorney that still won't respond to mine. Mine field ahead in August. She claims right to kids for an event week which is accurate but final order stipulated she had to add days to my summer if she claimed a local holiday. She is claiming holiday but says I had to inform her I wanted visitation extended. Nope, doesn't read that way. We'll see. I'm going to go have some fun this weekend and working on getting the house improved. Small update. Financially strapped. X still on diet pill crazy as ever if not the worst she's ever been. I'm moving on better. I'm not getting as down though I still think this will never end and I'll never win. Kids saying more things negative about mom and their grandma. Coworkers and friends saying I'm way better. Still never taken any meds. Starting to have a possible serious relationship. I have bad moments, but not horrible. Truly never want X again. In short, I'd say by this fall I'll be human again and hopefully by this time next year really getting my groove. I've never understood why the X, for wanting this divorce, cannot go away. It's just crazy how much control she craves, how much she's baiting, and how she's ramping up more as I detach more. Establish more boundaries. There are worse things than going out with someone and having them tell you that they are afraid because I'm nice. Considerate, caring, capable, smart, plan nice dates, good with their family. I'm a mix of alpha beta no doubt. In the Midwest that can be considered cowboy morality too. A man is a man but manners aren't a sometimes thing and women do deserve a certain respect. Maybe it wasn't all me like I thought when I started here. Couple months later, X ratcheting up things. Why is it so easy to escalate? It's sickening and funny in certain ways. I can now anticipate much better though. She's fallen into a couple of traps that work nicely for me if we end up in court. Not letting kids call, ignoring polite requests to limit communication, not following order, etc. Kids doing well though they bring up too much about mom, their life as they try to work through things. Still impossible to schedule. I don't get court-mandated info on kids' activities, then face bizarre efforts on her part to get me schedules through back doors like friends when kids with me. She refuses to use a shared Google Calendar. Only wants me to follow her calendar. I refuse. Money is by far the worst, really scraping by. I literally get a few $100s a check than her and our income wasn't that far apart plus I have most of the bills and insurance. Just sucks. I'm in appeal though for that and 50-50 yet for children. Dating life is interesting. Been seeing a nice lady since June. Distance is a small issue but actually serves as a little insulation to let things build up more slowly. I would say at this point I enjoy dates, companionship, fun. I've made more than my fair share of mistakes, but nothing that hurt anyone or was mean-spirited. It definitely seems like dating is a unique experience. I probably won't get rid of her legally until next summer. I think most everyone assumes I'm divorced, though not true yet. In-laws continue to be great for girls. Friends really just fall away over time in a couple's group, so to speak. People talk more about inviting me, guest places, but not happening fast. Ex officially reached the is she having an eating disorder or XU stage because of really just shocking weight loss. I just say, not my problem, and try to move along. I think I dated too soon. Well, I know I did. Yet, there is a wonderful world out there of people to meet and get to know. Everything I read says don't compare and contrast to X, but I think if the X is being horrible, it really helps to show that the other gender does have some wonderful people. It has shown me how much I tolerated, put up, and was simply used and not appreciated. I did fall into that 25-year relationship trap that I never saw ending and thought was great. I was really good at a lot of things I had no idea about. Good with intimacy. Planned fun things, kind, ethical. Well-read, smart, good advice, listener. Things I was never told but now am, and it feels pretty damn good. It's strange to think I'd never even want to date her now, and 2 years ago I'd have stopped bullets for her. Given all I had in the world if she was sick. You name it, I'm not giving up on life. The very worst is money and not having kids. Really, don't miss her at all. But I think that's probably most guys a few years down the road. I really don't understand how judges can do the things they do. I have far less income than she does and more responsibility. Insurance, bigger chunk of bills, and can't even get the required phone calls, clothing, etc. One messed up system. Really, why not divorce if you are a narcissistic person with lawyer money to burn? I'm not a bitter, non-introspective person. I see balance, think critically. It's just overwhelming how unfair the system is in this state, at least. I can only hope appeal works, but if not, I can't and won't live like this. I just won't. 2 years ago is when it all fell apart. I will lose 5 years of my life before this is over. I don't expect an official divorce until next summer at the earliest. As of right now, she has major self-esteem issues and the need for money. While married, I shielded her from family with my love and money. Now, her mother does that for her against me. She has radically changed from a casual person to now way over dresses for everything and wears clothes more appropriate for teens than a mid-40s woman. She is spending an enormous amount of money on herself, clothes, remodeling a house that is now a joke in town because the remodel has hit 2 years. She is a very attractive woman but haggard and manic. The pills. She is crazy, just sent me some crazy stuff just now. I ignore. Professionals tell me 2 to 5 years is the norm of irrational behavior or until major crisis occurs. That's unlikely as she has all the money she needs now, and if her mom passed away, she'd actually be happy. I have come to understand that her ratcheting up behavior is in lockstep with the better I'm doing. In other words, as I create more distance, heal, she tries harder to get me to engage, raises the stakes, flaunts the final order, says more outrageous lies. It's just what they do to get a reaction. Just ignore them. In fact, I now leave anytime she sits anywhere near or tries to come by me in public. I have literally gotten up during games when she sits 2 or 3 chairs away from me and move across the gym. Yes, I realize she tells people from my community I'm a jerk and won't even sit by her. She's just trying to be good and I won't behave nicely. Well, hopefully some people actually get how crazy it would be for her to literally stalk me like that. But if they don't, their problem. One thing that is very odd is that so much of her blood family stuck with the girls, and I are part of Shakespeare play about money, greed, mental illness, family issues, and plain insanity. This will not end well and I know it. Funny story, I took a lovely smart MBA lady that has lived here out for a really nice road trip to some lakes, parks, natural history day. She loves that stuff. I made a fancy lunch on my stove at a beautiful lake, bottle of wine, made a fire. S'mores, blanket on the bank, perfect. She's my age and no one, she said, had ever done a day that was so fun and so thoughtful and romantic her whole life. That was my wife's life, plus great kids, respectable husband. I mentioned the day to a few close friends, including some women. You'd have thought I was Fabio, and I'm certainly not. Most of them were. Wow, I can't imagine a day like that. I'm far from perfect. I'm still a mess, I'm barely solvent. Everything reminds me of her. I feel like a fool. I wasted half my life. I'm job locked. If I can get my order changed to better financial terms, create a better life, and continue to create distance, I'll make it. Some days I don't see it happening. I really don't. I'll never ever understand the madness this was and is. I can't comprehend what drives a person to do this. I understand that my codependency is that I thought with her being a nice, good guy would have results. It doesn't. It's been a life lesson for me. I fight hard on the inside about what I want to do. I struggle right now with the idea I should just chuck it all. From moving away to worse. It's a loss of control, a loss of having any idea of the future. Morning, knowing the pain my children suffer. When I start looking at loss, kids, family, identity, retirement, income, vehicle, cabin, boats, friends, significant job upgrades, sleep, self-esteem, I can't imagine really ever quite getting back. I sit here needing tires on my dang vehicle, winter clothes for the kids, clothes for myself. Numerous house repairs. Oil change, maintenance for some equipment, tags coming due, and I watch her burn through money like water. In the end I know, maybe I'll get lucky and what I do will somehow have some positive effect on my children. Likely, it's all for naught, but I will try to stay on the high road. And not many will know but me. When you think your life can't get worse, it does. She and her attorney really got me today. Checkmate inches closer. This is all a coma and I'll wake up. Right. She pulled a financial maneuver. Very nasty. Attorney assured me that no judge would go for it. One did. Not good at all. I'm sure it's designed to get me to end the appeal. Not a good day, at all. Sometime later. I do my best to maintain boundaries, but it's so hard with children. Their clothes are horrible. They haven't even been given flu shots. She continues to do her worst on legal fronts and communication. I went a long time without engaging but have pushed back a bit recently and will more so shortly. Just an email with documentation of areas that she's not following the order. Just to make sure she can't say I never told her. I know she's under a lot of pressure with things, so I do think it will be her problem on how to process. She left her career and is already unhappy a family member will not talk to her there. Been funny to hear about. I doubt there's any remorse on her part, any feeling of loss, anything except I continue to ruin her life. She isn't divorced. She doesn't have my retirement. She doesn't have 100% of girls. She spent Christmas with a small part of her family while the rest and my family were together. I won't communicate in anything but briefest, rarest terms. I don't know what her happiness was supposed to look like. I doubt she did either. When someone you love does this and being together 25 years, there is always a part of me that will love her and pray for her. I wish it wasn't true, but for my daughter's sake, I hope she can find some semblance of a life. Almost half a year later. Appeal over. Should hear end of the month on decision. Her man is public. Brother of her best friend she used to party with. Spend time with her when she cheated on her husband. He's an exact copy of me but 10 years older. Exact copy. His wife left him 3 to 4 years ago. Kids saying he now spends the night with them. This has just been the best 29 months ever. 2 months later, final update. It is done. I've spent everything I have and more. I've done everything I can to be a good man, father, fight for my girls. Appeal gave minimal relief. It's like reading fiction. I have never understood how her testimony, without documentation, was accepted by the courts for our income, retirement, etc. I know appeals rarely succeed, but I expected more. I went a little. I find it amazing how things are 180 degrees the opposite of what was truth. It is done. I am divorced. I was approached by a few companies recently. I'd always said no for 20 plus years, but for some reason I said yes and start a new, better job soon. I will lose time with the kids. Job requires a move. She'll be back for more pay soon. I have no advice. I fought and lost. There is no justice in my case. None. An evil person was rewarded for her actions. Continues to be atrocious. And now has to live, and that's my 10-year-older twin. Seems like I'm getting myself together. What's left of me anyway? Moving out of my 25-year house and job. I've found someone I really like, but it's challenging to date with kids, and now I'm moving further away. Excited about job in new town. I'll be able to do some recreational things. Buy a nicer home than I have now. Divorce is miserable. With a rich narcissist, it's beyond comprehension. My comment, what an ending. Although the ruling wasn't in your favor, a change of scenery may be a good thing for you. In a few years your girls can decide where they want to stay. Tell me how you felt about this long ending down below, and I will see you in the next Love TV.